Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about 8 ways to learn to love yourself and love life a little bit more. With Valentine's Day coming up, everything is about romantic relationships, but I think it's really important to be able to learn how to love yourself and also enjoy and be grateful for life before you are thinking about romantic relationships. And this is something I've really learned over the last couple of years. So I'm going to show you how I went from being someone who didn't really love myself and had a bit of a hard time with it to someone who loves myself just a little bit more. So the first thing, and something that I'm still working on but helps me so much, is to compare yourself to your previous self rather than comparing yourself to other people. I do this a lot, especially at work. I will compare myself to my peers, people who've had completely different experiences to me, different skills, different traits, and I compare myself to them when we're different people. So I'm really learning to compare myself to myself 6 months ago, a year ago, 2-3 years ago, and look at how far I've come and how much I've grown, rather than comparing myself to people around me who I've only just met or who I don't know very well and who've had completely different experiences to me. I stopped weighing myself in January 2018, so 3 years ago now, and it has made me so much happier. I used to put so much importance and value in the number on the scale and didn't really acknowledge everything else that was important about me and everything else I weighed. There's so much more to me than the number on the scale, and it's taken me a really long time to learn that. I've had a bit of a difficult relationship with my weight in the past, and I'll make a whole different video on that. But stopping weighing myself has really helped me come a long way from where I was a few years ago. When I signed up to a new GP surgery, I had a health check and I was weighed, and I said to the nurse, please don't tell me how much I weigh, just write it down unless I really need to know. Like, that's how far I've taken it. I just find it so much easier to not know how much I weigh, and it really helps me find value and importance in other aspects of myself rather than the number on the scale. I'd really recommend it if you find that you have a difficult relationship with your body, because at the end of the day, it's what's inside you that counts, not what you see in the mirror, and definitely not what you see on a scale. So I had therapy a few years ago, and something that was mentioned to me then was something called the spotlight effect. And that is basically where you feel like everybody else is talking about you and thinking about you when really they're not. Everyone cares about themselves, and that's what everyone else is focusing on. And it's really important to realize that other people are not thinking and talking about you. Realizing that has really helped me just focus on myself more and not do things because of what other people might say or might not say, and rather just do things for myself and my own internal happiness. Now, I did actually have therapy a few years ago and again last year, and it has really helped me love myself more. I think that it's helped me kind of think about my values, think about where I sit in the world, think about the things I struggle with and talk through why I struggle with what I struggle with, and also challenge some of the reasons of why I think how I think. I would really recommend therapy. Even if you don't feel like you're going through a really bad patch at the moment, you don't have to be depressed to have therapy. It's really helpful just to help talk through things you struggled with in the past or things you're struggling with right now. I think therapy is great. It's something that you can do for you, but will help make yourself more happier, and then in the future help make you happy in your relationships as well. Something that lockdown has taught me, and I couldn't do this time last year, was learning to spend time by yourself. I used to dread having evenings on my own. And a friend actually told me recently, my old housemate told me that this time last year I went into her room crying because I was so bored. I don't remember this, but I apparently cried because I was so bored and had nothing to do. And I can't even imagine doing it now. I love spending time on my own. I found so many hobbies, so many things I like doing. And I think that's really helped love myself more and enjoy my own company. As in, it's easier in lockdown now, but I would really just try and enhance that and really actively enjoy time on your own, because it really does help love yourself more and appreciate your own company and not constantly feeling like you need to be around other people to be happy. It's really important to cut yourself some slack and realize you can't be perfect. I think we all strive to be really perfect and do everything 100% right. But if we constantly try and be perfect, and if we are perfect, how do we ever fail and how do we ever learn from failure? We need these imperfections to get better and to improve ourselves. So trying to be perfect all the time just creates unnecessary stress on yourself and makes everything you do that little bit harder, because you're striving for perfection rather than striving for doing the best you can. Trying to reduce my need to be perfect all the time has really helped me kind of be kinder to myself and cut myself some slack and just get on with life in a happier way rather than trying to do things 100% right all the time. Practicing being grateful is a well-known thing, but I really try and be grateful for the really tiny things, like it being a beautiful day today, or the fact I had some apple and blackcurrant squash, which was nice. I just have found that being grateful for the small things, like the really, really small things, has really helped me be more grateful for life and enjoy it more. I also try and actively be grateful in a moment. So say I'm on a night out before COVID and was having a really fun time, I would almost catch myself and take a second to be like, I'm really grateful for this. I'm going to miss this one day. And I'm just so grateful and appreciating this right now. And I've done that in the past, and I can think of so many times where I've done that. And I'm so glad I took that moment to appreciate things there and then. So just learning to constantly be grateful for the current situation that you're in, and also for the small, small things in life. Lots of people know that it's good to talk to yourself as if you were talking to a friend, but I don't actually know how many people actively implement this, and it's something I really try and do, especially recently. So whenever I catch myself feeling a bit rubbish or not being nice to myself or feeling a bit down, I actively speak out loud sometimes and say nice things to myself, like, you're doing really great, Rads, or compliment myself, or give myself a little pep talk. And saying it out loud and saying it to yourself is really powerful and just feels really nice to actually think, how would I speak to a friend? Let me flip that back and speak it to me. I'd really recommend doing it. You might find it a bit weird at first, especially if you've never done it before, but it makes me feel so much better about myself and kind of stops me saying those really negative and mean things to myself all the time. So those are my tips on how to appreciate and enjoy and love yourself and life that little bit more. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please subscribe and leave a comment down below about how you're planning on loving yourself that little bit more. I hope you have a nice Valentine's Day, no matter what you're doing and what your relationship status is. Remember, it's just a day, it doesn't really matter. And I hope you guys have a really nice weekend and week ahead. Lots of love. Bye.